Guys, today we're going to cover how we can efficiently get a number of trophies in Formula One 2025, specifically the trophies inside the My Team career and the driver career, and the trophy associated with getting to tech level 250. It is worth pointing out that none of these trophies are particularly difficult. However, the trophies we're going to cover today are fairly grindy, and if you aren't paying attention, you can easily spend 2 or 3 times longer getting them than you really need to. So this video is not how to be a great Formula One driver, quite the reverse. We're going to be doing all of this on the easiest possible settings, and in a few cases we're going to be using every cheese method available, all in an effort to get these trophy/achievements in a time-efficient manner. If that sounds like it's interesting to you, then stick around. Okay, we're going to start with team career. Now the long pole here is just completing a full season, but along the way we want to make sure we unlock all of these trophies, including some somewhat tricky ones like Lucrative Alliance, All Systems Go, and Brand Buddy. Okay, let's talk about the setup for the team career first. We're going to do a custom season, and we want to set our season length to 10 races. Again, we want to do this in a time-efficient manner, right? Select custom settings and set whatever assists you want on. I went with pretty much full assist on everything. Set the AI difficulty as low as you want. I went with 0. Make sure rules and flags is set to on, as having it off will disable a few trophies. In career settings, I went with an increased rate of resource and cash, then hit confirm settings. Since there is an achievement for getting any one of these facilities to phase 4, I went with extensive starting facility investment. For the starting car development though, I went with no development. We're going to win every race anyway against low AI, and having a really crappy car, this helps with the fan sentiment, trophy/achievements when we win those races. During this team career, you're obviously going to race races, but the gameplay loop has 2 key parts to it. The first part is you're going to advance time through a bunch of days until the next race. Then you're going to go do a race, or in the case on the screen, do a new season grid reveal. And then you're going to repeat by advancing time again to the next race or event. The key to getting these achievements in a time-efficient manner is doing specific things in each of these 5 areas every single advanced time period. First one we're going to look at is the activities section. Aside from the trophy/achievement you'll get for doing 25 activities, the activities themselves are super important for a number of other trophies that we need to get. So the first 3 columns in the activities are not particularly important from a trophy/achievement viewpoint. That last corporate column though is very important, and you want to be in control of that one. For example, adding this activity will give us a chance to discover a new secondary sponsor, and we need to discover 5 secondary sponsors for the trophy/achievement sponsor sleuth. If we were to add this event, then we would be getting an increase in our title sponsor loyalty, which is required for a trophy, and we'll be increasing our fan rating, also required for 2 trophies. And then this activity, should we add it, will help with our sponsor loyalty, and it will also give us another chance to discover a secondary sponsor. Okay, let's talk about the facilities, engineering, personnel, and corporate, and specifically the facility improvements in each of them. We need to get any of these 3 facilities, engineering, personnel, or corporate, to phase 4 for the All Systems Go trophy/achievement. And the way we get them to phase 4 is to increase that workforce number to 600 in the case of engineering, 405 in the case of personnel, and 200 in the case of corporate. So the way we increase the workforce for any one of these facilities is by selecting an activity. In this case, it's going to take 27 days. And at the end of those 27 days, the workforce will have increased by 6. And as you can see, now we have one activity that's going to last 27 days. And at the end of it, it's going to give us our 6 workforce. But we're allowed to have another one. Since both of these tasks are going to run at the same time, then after 27 days, we will have added 11 workforce to our 94 workforce, getting us a step closer to our 200 required for phase 4 in corporate. We would now do the same thing in personnel and the same thing in engineering. Again, we only need one of these to phase 4, but we're going to work on all 3 during our advanced time periods, because any one of these 3 could get to their phase 4 first. While we're here in corporate, we're going to set up our secondary sponsor for the Brand Buddy trophy/achievement. So go to corporate, and then customization, then race gear, then car, then decal editor. So the first slot is your primary sponsor that you've already selected as part of the setup of the season. we need to add a secondary sponsor in the second slot. So again, as we win races, our secondary sponsor will also be gaining loyalty. You'll start with a number of secondary sponsors available. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So pick one, and then you're just going to place their decal anywhere on the car. And again, now as you win races, that secondary sponsor will be gaining loyalty. Okay, the setup's now done. You can now advance time and do a race. And then after the race, and you come back to the screen, you're going to go back to the activities, add more activities to that corporate column, and then you're going to go to each of the facilities and you're going to add more research if existing research is completed so that you can increase your workforce. And you will repeat that time advance, race loop over and over again. Okay, let's talk about Lucrative Alliance. This is for switching a title sponsor and using a counteroffer that gives you a more favorable contract. So on about round or race 7, maybe 6 of your 10, you're going to get this screen. And at this point, you want to make a save. So on PlayStation, you're going to quit to the main menu, go to your settings, your save data and game app settings, upload from console, and you're going to upload that save to your cloud storage. This is assuming you have some form of PS Plus. Then you're going to load back into the game and you're going to be back at this screen. So we're going to view our sponsors. One on the left is the title sponsor we already have. We're going to pick any one of the other ones. And then we're going to view counteroffers. And then in order to get the trophy, we need to select the more favorable contract. But as you can see, it only has a 35% chance of being accepted. So let's check their offer response. And it was rejected, so no trophy/achievement for us. So at this point, you have two options. You can quit and reload that save we made earlier and try again, or you can carry on for a little bit, try again with a lower chance of acceptance with a different sponsor, and if that doesn't work, then reload the save and try again. And that's that second option that I did. So I select a new sponsor, pick a different one, view counteroffers. Again, we want to pick the more favorable contract, but do note the percentage is even less this time of it being accepted. And if you're very lucky, it gets accepted and you will unlock the trophy/achievement. If you're unlucky and it was rejected the second time, then you're going to reload that save and try again until it does pop. After it has popped for you, you will want to reload that save one more time. And this time we're just going to select our original sponsor and keep them so that near the end of the season, we will eventually unlock brand loyalty. And then after a few more races and after your 10th race, you will finally pop the Seasoned Strategist trophy/achievement. And along the way, you will have popped all of these trophies/achievements, assuming you did everything you needed to do inside of the activities and the facilities at each advanced time phase, and assuming you won every race in the season. If after that first season you didn't quite get to phase 4 in any of those facilities, then you will need to continue into season 2, but thankfully you don't need to do any races. Instead, you're just going to skip and simulate all of the races, which quickly gets you back to the main advanced time screen, where you can quickly add the last few workforce research projects you need in a particular facility to get it to phase 4. And once you do hit phase 4 on any one of those facilities, you will unlock the All Systems Go trophy/achievement.
Hey, Chief.
Okay, on to the driver career. This is primarily about the top driver trophy/achievement, which requires you get to driver rating 99. But along the way, we want to make sure we unlock all of these trophies, which will require we do a few things during the season and be a little bit conscious of each of those trophy/achievements. Okay, so let's cover the setup for the driver career. You want to skip to F1. We want to do a custom season. Again, we want 10 races. And we want custom settings. Again, you're going to set your assists to whatever you feel comfortable with. Set the AI difficulty as low as you want. I went with 0. I chose to go with an increased resource rate in career settings. And I had collisions off in simulation settings. This one's actually relatively important. And then we're going to confirm those settings. We want to do official teams only. You want to make sure you've got all driver icons. We want an official driver. You want to select the Icons tab and then select Schumacher. And we want to put Schumacher in the worst possible car so we get the most points. And in this case, that's the kick team. And as you can see, we're going to start with a rating of 94. And then by doing a few specific things in each race, we're going to quickly get that to 99. For every race, though, make sure you go to your Specialists tab, because there are 2 trophy/achievements associated here. Really, the only thing you need to worry about here is always set a goal with every specialist that's available for this upcoming race. And then we want to make sure it's our manufacturing expert that we get to level 3, so make sure he has the double chevrons above his name. If he doesn't, you're going to use the square button to set primary specialist. Then for the others, we're just going to make sure whichever ones are available, we're always setting a goal for them. Now for each race in our 10 race season, we're going to complete the practice via the quick method, which you can't do on the first one, but for the other 9, use the quick method. You are going to qualify first in the one-shot qualifying, and then between qualifying and the actual race, we're intentionally going to change any random part on our car, thereby incurring a penalty, which means we're going to start the race in last place on the grid, and then via the magic of low AI and collisions being off, we're going to finish that race in first position every single time. So let's take a look at all that. So again, you're going to do the practice sessions with the quick practice, which you can't do on the first race of the season. You have to do a full practice, but all the others you can just do quick. And after that practice session, you'll see we get a little bit of XP, which helps towards our rating. Then we're going to do the one-shot qualifying, and we are going to qualify in first position on the grid. That will give us a bunch of points in our pace section, which again helps us with our rating. As you can see, we're now at 95 already. Then between qualifying and race, we're going to go across and change any random part on our car. Doesn't matter which. This will cause us to get a penalty. This is going to put us in last place on the grid, but we're quickly going to get to first position, probably within the first couple of turns. And then we will finish this race always in first position. At the end of the race, you can see we got great points in all of the possible areas and only a small ding on XP. And it has again helped us dramatically with our rating. And you're going to repeat that for all 10 races in the season, thereby unlocking the top driver trophy/achievement for getting to driver rating 99. And along with this, you'll obviously also unlock Circuit King for completing the season. Now, since the season only had 10 races in it, but the trophy following orders needs you to have done 25 races and completed the goal that pops up in lap 3 in each of those 25 races. And let's just cover a really quick cheese method whereby you can unlock that trophy in a 10 race season instead of doing 2.5 seasons. So this cheese relies on the fact that the rewind function built into the game allows you to repeat getting that goal over and over again and have it count towards the 25. So as you can see, we achieved the goal. Now I'm just going to hit pause and do a rewind. And now I'm just going to re-achieve that goal. We passed the goal again, and that increments the number of times we have successfully passed that goal. So in a 10-season race, if you pick one of the races and do that cheese in one of those goals and repeat it 15 times, then your 10 races plus the 15 times that you cheesed it will give you the 25 needed for the trophy. Okay, let's talk about the Tech Milestone trophy/achievement, which requires you get to tech level 250 in F1 World, with your tech level being calculated as the average of the tech level of all of the equipment and team members you currently have assigned. Just by playing the game, you're going to be awarded these parts or these team members, and the tech level of the part or team member that is awarded to you will be a few points higher than your current tech level. This means then that you always want to be upgrading your equipment or your team members so that the next piece of equipment or team member you're awarded is a few points higher than what you currently have. I did a lot of 3-lap races in the series tab in F1 World. They're quick to do, and if you do them at license level A, you normally get awarded a piece of equipment or a team member, and some of them have a guaranteed award of equipment or team member if you meet some certain requirement. I also did a number of 5-lap races in the solo section of F1 World. If I was to beat the gold time in this time trial challenge, then I would get 2 pieces of equipment. The best method I found, though, to be awarded equipment or team members is to join a high-level invitational. And as you can see, if I was to join this one and the lobby got 30 points, then everybody in the lobby would be awarded 2 pieces of equipment or team members. But look at this one though. If the lobby got a collective 70 points, then everybody in the lobby would be awarded 10 legendary pieces of equipment or team members. So it's standard Formula 1 point system. So if there are 4 human players in the lobby with the rest being bots, and those 4 human players came in first, second, third, and fourth, then this would be the points that each would be assigned. And collectively then, the humans in that lobby got 70 points, which would have been enough to be awarded all of those 10 pieces of equipment. So when you're joining these invitationals, what you want to do is make sure there's enough people in the lobby who look like they're skilled enough that they can actually pull off getting a number of people into the top 5 of the race. And then after you've equipped that final piece of equipment or that final team member that tips you over the 250 tech level points, you will unlock the Tech Milestone trophy/achievement. And that's it, guys. That's how you can efficiently unlock some of the longest trophies in Formula 1 2025 in about 1 10-race season instead of perhaps 2 or 3 seasons. Hope that helps, and I'll catch you in the next one.